You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. A horrific scene unfolding this afternoon at a South Florida high school. A 19-year-old gunman opening fire, killing at least 17 people. A dozen victims have been identified, but officials have not yet released their names because they're waiting for all families to be notified. Dozens more are injured and were treated at the scene. Many are now recovering at nearby hospitals, some fighting for their lives. The shooter, who officials believe has connections to the school, is in police custody. ABC's Serena Marshall has been covering this throughout the day. She joins us now live from Washington, D.C. Serena?
Good evening. The Broward County Superintendent said they are heartbroken over this unspeakable tragedy, and the Sheriff's Office announced that they will not be releasing any names of the deceased until every family, every parent is notified.
The sound of gunshots ringing out at a South Florida high school. It was just after 2, students preparing to leave for the day, when a shooter, now identified as Nicholas Cruz, using a single AR-15 with countless magazines, wearing a gas mask, armed with smoke grenades, opened fire.
We all started running indoors. I didn't know what was happening.
We don't know, but we're entering the building.
SWAT teams moved in, searching for the shooter and clearing the school of more than 3,000.
And the SWAT team, they bust open the window and they just all saved us. It was really intense.
One student recalling the horrific scene, her teacher shot.
We saw his body for like 30 minutes. We were just like praying and crying, and then the police came and we just got out.
The Sheriff's Office confirmed 15 were killed on site. 2 died later at the hospital.
This is a catastrophic, an unbelievably catastrophic day in Broward County history. It's devastating. I'm sick to my stomach.
After the hail of gunfire, the 19-year-old former student walked out of the school.
White male, burgundy shirt, wearing a black hat, and either long black pants or shorts. He mixed in with a group of students that were running westbound.
Police arresting him without incident.
The motive behind the shooting remains unclear, but the school has canceled all activities and will be remaining closed for the remainder of the week, but they will have grief counseling beginning tomorrow for the students, faculty, and family. Live in Washington, Serena Marshall, ABC News. Now back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Serena. Even though this horrific school shooting happened across the state, people here on the Suncoast are very shaken by this tragedy. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live now with some local reaction on this deadly shooting. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, this is just a horrible, horrible tragedy, and it's one that hits a lot closer to home. In reality, this deadly shooting in Broward County on Wednesday that killed many could happen in any school district at any time. Sarasota County School Superintendent Todd Bowden tells us this unimaginable tragedy is every school district's worst nightmare.
Your immediate thoughts go to the students, faculty, staff, the community surrounding Stoneman Douglas High School. Certainly, you immediately think of your own family and your own community when you hear the news that we heard.
Brian McCall had just heard the news of the shooting while picking up his daughter from a Sarasota County elementary school. The father of 3 says this shooting is shocking and hits far too close to home.
I'm pretty nervous. There's just a bunch of crazy people out there nowadays. You just never know.
Superintendent Bowden says security is something that is a top priority for the Sarasota County School District. There have been incidents recently that has put their security to the test, including one that led to the arrest of a Riverview High School student who had shown a handgun to another student on a bus. A security team does keep a close eye on cameras at all schools throughout the county 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But Bowden says the school district is always looking for ways to improve.
After this incident is over, we'll get a play-by-play as to what happened, what worked, what didn't work, and we'll learn from the experience of Stoneman Douglas.
And it's not yet known if patrols will be beefed up at Sarasota County schools tomorrow. Reporting it live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. Well, Manatee County schools are taking action following the deadly shooting in Broward County. Superintendent Dr. Diana Green sent a robocall to parents today explaining there will be an increased law enforcement presence around all schools for the rest of the week. All middle and high schools have school resource officers, and the officers also rotate at Manatee elementary schools. Principals and staff are also aware to be more alert for unusual activity at the schools. And don't forget to remind your children if they see anything unusual at school or on social media to report it to a parent or law enforcement. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast on this Valentine's Day. Bob?
Thanks, Jacqueline. A beautiful one it was today. A great sunset for a lot of the lovebirds out there watching the sunset on Siesta Key or any of the beaches this evening. It was beautiful out there. 69 degrees, still warm right now. We have some clouds around and the dew point temperature still high. Humidity at 90%. East to northeast winds at 5. The pressure continues to rise at this hour at 35. That's up there. High pressure anchor just off the east coast of Florida provides us with that easterly wind component, which makes things warm here. And we're going to stay warm too. We've had 8 consecutive days now where the temperature has hit 80 or exceeded that. And it looks like we're going to go for 9 tomorrow. We're satellite again showing some low clouds around. That'll be the big concern tomorrow morning, but that's not much. Some fog and low clouds. More on the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies and fire crews are on scene of a 2-alarm fire just south of Bee Ridge Road. Deputies say they're not aware of any injuries from the structure fire in the 4000 block of Olive Avenue, and they're not sure how that fire started. Drivers are asked to avoid that area. This story is developing, and we will bring you more information as soon as it becomes available. A Sarasota County woman is arrested after deputies say they discovered her 19 dogs in a makeshift kennel. The investigation began last month when Animal Services officers were dispatched to Northport for reports of abandoned dogs. Officers arrived to find several small breed dogs aging from 4 weeks to 16 years old, and they were living in wire pens and small carriers. They say the dogs were exposed to cold weather and deprived of food and clean water. Some of those dogs also had overgrown fur, nails, were covered in dirt and infested with fleas. Investigators say Amy Lovering told deputies she made the makeshift kennel for when she was out of town, and deputies learned Lovering kept the 19 dogs in those kennels for an extended time between November and January. She has been charged with cruelty to animals. An undercover operation by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office busted multiple stores for selling vapor products containing nicotine to minors. Of the 14 locations checked in Manatee County, 6 sold a vapor containing nicotine to a minor. Those locations, all in Bradenton, include Mad Vapor, Blue Vapor, Totally Wicked, Desert Winds, Vapor Dog, and Vapors. The clerks at those 6 locations that sold these products were issued a notice to appear in court. Well, one of Sarasota's Republican-dominated districts elects a Democrat to represent them in Tallahassee. Democrat Margaret Good hitting the ground running today, being sworn into the State House in Tallahassee after defeating Republican James Buchanan for the District 72 seat last night. Good defeated Buchanan by 7 percentage points in a Republican-dominated district. Political analysts say this means Good took not only a majority of the no-party affiliation votes, but that a significant amount of Republicans crossed over and then voted for Good.
The takeaway message is these seats that most of our local political seats are held by Republicans, but it's not an entitlement. It's something that they have to continue to earn.
The nation's eyes are on this victory as well, as this is the 36th time a GOP-held state legislative seat has changed parties since President Trump took office. And Florida cities could soon lose the freedom to choose election days under a bill passed today by the Florida House. Proponents say the measure would boost participation in local elections because cities would vote on the same day across the state. But those against the bill say local government should be able to decide what days are best for their elections. A similar Senate bill has 2 more committee stops before being heard by the full chamber. Well, big changes are on the way to the Laurel area. Several new businesses are opening up, including a Starbucks, Aldi's grocery store, and Dunkin' Donuts. Laurel used to be a quiet place, but over the last year has seen a business boom. Many in the community are happy with the changes because that means new jobs.
We've become the place to be, you know, and you know that when you get a Starbucks, we have a bank on every corner.
Those new businesses are slated to open within the next few months. The Longboat Key Police Department receiving a major donation from a local resident to enhance public safety in the town. Mr. Ryan Flanzer donated more than $234,000 to upgrade license plate recognition camera systems, as well as technology for in-car computers for patrol vehicles. Last week, Mr. Flanzer presented Chief Cumming with a check for the purchase of 25 laptop computers with appropriate software and an enhanced license plate recognition system replacing the outdated cameras. Chief Cumming says this donation will increase the police department's enforcement and crime prevention efficiency, benefiting residents and visitors in the town. The days may soon feel longer in the fall and winter here in Florida under a new bill passed by the State House. The House voted to approve the bill to ask Congress to remain in daylight saving time all year. That means when the rest of the country sets their clocks back to fall back in the fall, Florida would not. Supporters of the bill say it would help tourism and give families more daylight time together after work, giving a new meaning to the Sunshine State. Congress would need to amend existing federal law to allow for that change. Stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, more information on that deadly school shooting in Broward County. We'll share one woman's deep connection to the school and why it will now be easier for you to park and get to your terminal at Tampa International Airport.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Drive a brand new 2018 Lincoln MKC for $279 per month or the Lincoln MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment. Every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Bob, we had some great weather for Valentine's Day. Whether you
Yeah.
were enjoying the sunset or having a nice dinner outside, it was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely was. And the evening sunset was absolutely spectacular. Temperatures have been warm.
Right.
How long do you think? How many days in a row consecutive do you think we've had?
Oh, I don't know.
80-degree
It's been hot. It's been hot lately, especially for this time of year, I feel like. I feel like we just skipped spring. We're
Right.
straight into summer,
Right.
but that's not the case.
It's not the case. This will be 8th day today.
Wow.
80 degrees or above, and we're looking for temperatures to stay pretty warm, too, for the upcoming weeks. Yeah.
Ooh, so no
And
letdown.
no. A couple weeks from now, though, we may get a cold front that'll slide in, and it'll cool us down back to more average high right around 73, 74 degrees. So we'll look for that to move on. And then you'll be happy with that, right?
Right. That sounds much more pleasant than some of these 80-degree temperatures.
Some people like the warm, though. Some people like the warmth as well. Here's what's going on right now. Viewer photo sent in. This one, a perfect shot by Fred Seeger. Yes, happy Valentine's Day right there out of South Florida, in Southwest Florida. Appreciate that shot sent in there. That's a nice way you framed it. And this one from David McDonald, someone taking a sail right there at sunset. That's always nice. Casey Key webcam showing beach conditions looking spectacular today. Lots of clear skies and calm seas, too. So if you plan on boating over the next few days, it looks to be really quite nice. Things aren't changing much at all. Large area of high pressure continues to dominate our weather right now. You've heard it all week long, and for the past 8 days now, it's been pretty much the same story. What we are looking at, some clouds, low clouds here. They're moving off basically to the southwest. All the showers kind of running around the periphery of this large area of high pressure, which continues to hold firm in the upper levels of the atmosphere and at the surface. And that's typically what we see during the summer months. Here is a double stacked high pressure system. At 69 right now, we have that low cloudiness starting to develop. The dew point and temperature getting close to one another. East to northeast winds rather light at 5 miles an hour. Now the temperature of 69 in Bradenton Country Club, 69 as well at Longboat Key, 68 Anna Maria, a couple degrees warmer at Southgate and the Meadows and Osprey at 70 and 71 degrees in Northport, Venice, and Inglewood. So fairly common temperature down there. And you can see the fog starting to develop already in the interior portions of the state. And this, not really fog, but it's low cloudiness out there in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to see this kind of work its way from the central portion of the state westward and should be in place tomorrow. Now, it's not going to be as widespread, I think, as this model is depicting, but we will see some areas of rather thick fog, but it should burn off by around 10 o'clock, similar to what we saw today. Lots of sunshine to follow in the afternoon. It should be another spectacular day and a warm one at that. Make it 9, it looks like, with temperatures warming to 80 degrees or above. And the satellite and radar picture showing not a lot going on across the U.S. So there's a couple of snowstorms that'll move through the Ohio Valley. First one's a rain one on Thursday and Friday, and then the next one comes in on Sunday. Another clipper brings snowfall to Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York. And then another one developing behind it in line for the northern plain states and eventually in through the Great Lakes midweek next week. Now tomorrow's high temperatures will be in the single digits, so that Arctic air is starting to spill northward in the northern plains and northern Rockies. And get a look at this long-range model. You can see cold air just kind of bouncing around to our north. We stay warm here for a long period of time, but when we get into the latter half of February, say February 28th on Wednesday, in a couple of weeks from now, we'll start to cool back down to highs in the low 70s. Some morning fog around. East winds turn to the southwest, and they'll subside somewhat in the afternoon. Here's the extended forecast then. A slight chance for a shower or two Thursday and Friday. High temperatures staying into the low 80s. A little bit better chance for a few showers, but not much on Tuesday and Wednesday at 20%. And high temperatures, again, well above the average. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Now, we have been closely following a deadly high school shooting in South Florida all evening. At least 17 people have been confirmed dead, more than a dozen injured at Stoneman Douglas High School. Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel says that families of the dead are being notified. 12 of those killed have been identified, but not all victims were carrying ID cards, so they could not be identified quickly. We spoke to a former student of Stoneman Douglas High School who now lives in Sarasota. ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us from the studio to share how she is affected from nearly 200 miles away.
The former student we spoke with says Stoneman Douglas High is one of the biggest high schools in Broward County with more than 3,000 students, and the school continues to grow. Ashley Clayton attended the school before moving to the Suncoast. She says the school now has additional buildings and added portable units. Clayton's family also owns a business about 10 minutes away from the school in Broward. She tells us it's shocking to see her alma mater as the subject of this deadly shooting, never imagining anything like this happening in her hometown. She explains it could have happened anywhere.
It could honestly happen anywhere here in Sarasota. I'm not from this area, and I know Sarasota is a very small town. Everyone knows each other, but I could not imagine getting that text like the parents did from, you know, I think it was a school board saying, like, you know, this high school's on lockdown, and thinking like, oh my gosh, my child's there, like, what do I do?
Teachers say students hid in the closets as shots were fired within Stoneman Douglas, and Clayton explains the gunman could have been seen anywhere in the school since that school is so big. Jacqueline.
Okay, thank you so much, Erica.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We further find the killing was premeditated.
Well, it did not take long for a jury to reach a verdict in the trial of Donald Smith in Jacksonville. Jurors taking only 14 minutes after closing arguments to find Smith guilty of the murder, kidnapping, and sexual battery of an 8-year-old girl named Cherish Periwinkle. The jury believed that Smith took Cherish from her family at a Jacksonville area Walmart in 2013, raped her, and left her dead in water near a church. Smith had little reaction as the guilty verdicts were read. Prosecutors are expected to ask jurors to sentence him to death. That penalty phase in the trial should begin on Tuesday. The Sky Connect is officially open at Tampa International Airport, marking the completion of a 3-year project. Starting today, all guests who park in the economy garage will use the Sky Connect to get to and from the main terminal. That train ride takes less than 5 minutes altogether. It also stops at the new rental car center, where travelers will now have twice the number of rental car brands, up from 8 to 16. And with it opening on Valentine's Day, the airport has been using the hashtag #LoveTrain. Well, sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Love is in the air tonight.
We were doing shots and everything.
Was that the only time you played while intoxicated?
No.
No.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt will leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long con.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a car and driver's 10 best. All on sale for up to $3,805, less than the competition at your local Honda dealer.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips.
And if you love the sun, you're gonna love Mobile, where Mardi Gras is king, and the accommodations will make you feel like royalty. You can take a little drive, explore Dauphin Island, or explore the past. We're talking the USS Alabama.
Check out these big guns. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a digital media producer to write and post fresh content to our website in real time. Excellent writing skills and newsroom experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. Now, sports.
Well, it is finally time to play ball as the Baltimore Orioles pitchers and catchers hit the field for the first time for spring training of 2018. The players doing a lot of stretching and running to get things started. Most days the players will be on the practice fields behind Ed Smith Stadium from about 9:30 until 12:30. The Orioles' first spring training home game is set for next week, Friday, February 23rd, against the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Pittsburgh Pirates opening the team's 50th spring training season in Bradenton as well this morning. In honor of that 50th anniversary, the Pirates have planned 50 community events this spring. That includes this morning's effort at Our Daily Bread. Pirates staff members helped pour drinks and serve food to some of the 250 people who use that nonprofit service each day. Baseball team staff said it's important to give back to Bradenton when possible.
So it's really important to us, especially here in Bradenton, being the southern home of the Pittsburgh Pirates, that we give back as much as we can when we do have the full team here during spring training.
The Pirates will continue their service this week. Tomorrow, the team will serve lunch at Meals on Wheels and will deliver coffee and donuts on Friday to the Braden River Care Center. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Want to know a secret? If you're looking for the best selection of area rugs at an unbelievable price, the only place you need to look is Rugs is Art. I know what you're thinking. Expensive, right? Wrong. Rugs is Art has the largest selection of area rugs on the west coast of Florida in a variety of styles, with 8x11 area rugs starting at $199. Largest selection, personalized service, and unbelievably low prices. You'll find it all at Rugs is Art.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Americans are projected to have spent quite a bit of money to show their love this Valentine's Day. According to estimates by the National Retail Federation, more than half of Americans will celebrate the day, spending nearly $20 billion on Valentine's Day related cards, flowers, gifts, and apparel. 4.7 of that will be on jewelry. On average, consumers will spend about $144 per person, up from $142 last year, with about $5.50 spent on Valentine's gifts for pets. I don't know if you got anything for Mia.
I think my wife did, yes.
There you go.
I did see a little some dog treat or something made out of heart, but that's a lot of money. Hallmark is really loving it. You know, I'm sure that all these card people that make cards, they're loving that day.
I know.
I didn't spend that much. $40.
Yeah,
$50
nothing too huge.
We are looking at the temperatures to be pretty nice again tomorrow, into the low 80s if you like the warm weather.
All right, thank you so much, Bob, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.